but she just got voted Western Athlete of the Year. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, 7.1c. Pretty much the same kind of thing. We're still working with triangles and our trig functions. Let's just draw a triangle just to refer back to. So we have just this basic triangle, and we're going to be talking about this angle right here just for fun. Down in the bottom left corner. That's going to be our theta. If we're talking about like A, B, and C for the Pythagorean Theorem, here we have A, B, and C. Those would be our side names. And then if you already know this, you don't need to write this down, but sine of theta would be opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of theta, adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent of theta would be opposite over adjacent, so B over A. And then we would have cosecant, secant, and cotangent are just going to be the exact opposite of all these fractions. So C over B, C over A, and A over B. Obviously, we've talked about that before, so if you got it, don't worry about it. Okay, 2 examples. First one, we got a triangle. And we've kind of done a problem or two similar to this before, where they give us the angle. We'll say this is 40 degrees. They tell us the adjacent side right here equals 90 feet. And we want to figure out the height of this triangle, or the opposite side. So a very common problem like this, you'll see a lot in like physics, if you guys take that, or maybe, I don't know what other science classes, but I feel like this is a physics problem, where there'll be like a tree and then a shadow on the ground, and you can measure the shadow by like measuring with a tape measure on the ground, but you're not tall enough to measure the tree. So you can figure out how far away you're standing from the tree, how far away the shadow goes, what the angle is, figure out how tall the tree is. Okay, that would be a very similar problem to this. They give us 2 of the sides, 2 of the 3 sides of the triangle. Which sides do they give us? Opposite and adjacent. So we know that we're going to be using opposite and adjacent. Which trig function uses opposite and adjacent? Think SOHCAHTOA. Tangent, yeah. So we have tangent of what angle? What angle are we talking about? Which angle are we referencing? What number is it? What degree? 40. Yeah, we're talking about this angle right here. That's the only angle they give us. I mean, really, they give us 90, so we can also figure out that this is 50, but don't worry about that 50. We're only worried about this 40 right here. So tangent of 40, we know that tangent equals opposite over adjacent. Well, opposite side is x, that's what we're solving for, over the adjacent side is 90 feet. And now we just have a problem where we're solving for x, and there's division on the side with the x. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So let's get x by itself by multiplying 90 on both sides. And on your calculator, somebody type in, what is 90 times tangent of 40?
75.52.
Yep, 75.52 feet. And that's all that this question is asking. But theoretically, if we were to try to solve for the hypotenuse, what theory or what theorem would we use? Yeah, Pythagorean Theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Do you guys know how I got this angle at 50? Just right off the top of my head, too. All 3 angles in a triangle add up to what? You guys are good. Okay. Very similar problem, just two parts here. We're just going to try to find x and y this time. So here's our triangle. This left side is going to be x. This top side is going to be 55 meters. Our hypotenuse we're going to call y. And our angle is going to be 75.2 degrees. So clearly this is not drawn to size, because that other angle would be really, really small. 14.8. So we have two goals. We want to solve for x and y. Which letter do you guys want to solve for first? X, sure. We are always going to be referencing this angle right here. And we are going to try to find x, and we also know 55. So this would be adjacent and opposite, or opposite and adjacent. Which trig function uses opposite and adjacent? Tangent, SOHCAHTOA. So tangent of 75.2 equals opposite is 55 divided by adjacent is x. This one's a little tricky because now the x is on the bottom of the fraction. That's okay. We still want to get rid of this fraction. Fractions are division, so let's multiply. We always multiply by the bottom of the fraction, so let's multiply by x on both sides, and just hang with me. It'll get better. X is still not by itself yet. Now we have x times tangent of 75.2 equals 55. Are we good up until this point? Does this make sense so far? Okay. We're still trying to get x by itself. What's the opposite of multiplication? Divide. So let's divide both sides by tangent of 75.2. Now on the left side, that's just going to cancel out. And on the right side, we have a fraction that we can type into our calculator. So you just do 55 divided by tangent of 75.2. 14.53. And what would be the label on there? Meters. So we just solved for x. I want you guys to try to solve for y and then check your answer with mine on the board. Not sure which trig function. Think opposite over hypotenuse. There would be the next couple steps. I would multiply by y on both sides and then divide to get y by itself. Anybody come up with one answer? 56.89. What would be the label on that? Meters. M stands for meters.